So I left school at 16. I didn't want to go to university. I wanted a job. I just wanted to work. For my sins, I wanted to be, well, no, not that, misguided. I decided that I needed to be an architect for some reason. I don't know. So I wrote around and the local architectural practices, and nothing came of that initially. But then the practice that I work for, I'm a director and own now, was Johns Slater and Haward, gave me a traineeship, and so I joined them back in 1985 as a trainee. And
is that before or after apprenticeships?
That would have been, well, there was the traditional apprenticeships that if you did an apprenticeship on the tools, but there weren't many in consultancy. So it was more trainee. So I was a trainee building services engineer.
But more than an intern, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And £40 a week. Yeah, that was good.
Very good.
Yeah, only up from that a little bit now. Yeah, so I did that. So I did a couple of years there, and we were doing a lot of MOD work, all sectors, etc. So did a couple of years there. Did my ordinary national certificate at that time. I then left there to go to Ipswich Borough Council, and I was there for 15 years. They kindly paid for my HNC, HND, my honours degree that I did with Jeff at Hatfield and St Albans, and also my management qualifications. And during that time we did lots of new build. We did lots of, you're looking after the grade 1 listed Christchurch mansion. Trying to do a rewire in one of those is quite interesting. You do sheltered schemes, new houses, sports centres, swimming pools. So it's a good portfolio to get an all-rounded industry sector balance. So did that, and then in 2001 I kept in contact with JSH and the partners directors that moved the business on, and they invited me to go back as a salaried partner initially, and then we incorporated in 2004 and became directors and shareholders, and that was 20 however many years ago. Was it 2004? So 20. I should be able to do that in my head. It's been a long day.
19.
But yes. 2000, yes, 2003, it's 21 years. 2001, it's 22 years. Sorry. So yeah, so that's it career-wise, and we're at training-wise. I've mentioned role in CIBSE. Well, I started volunteering for CIBSE. It's quite frightening, actually, in 1994, and I'll be honest with you, I joined our regional committee because I knew I was going to be filling in my chartered engineer application 12 months later, and I thought it looked good on the application. I remember one of the guys I used to work with said, "Oh yeah, you're just doing that because it's on your form." And I bet in 12 months after you've got your chartered bit, you won't be anywhere near that. And here we are, sort of the best part of 30 years later, and I volunteered because I enjoy it. It's different from the work, from the work situation, particularly being in an SME. You're into everything, and CIBSE is completely different, much more strategic. How can we influence change these things, which doesn't. So, and I always think if you can do something and volunteering, and it's something that you enjoy and it's not too stressy and all that sort of thing, then it's particularly rewarding. So I'd recommend it to. Well, I'm in good company with people that are volunteering anyway, so it's I'm sure you'll identify with that. So that's me. What have I done in CIBSE? As I say, I started off on the regional committee. I was chairman in 2001, 2002. East Anglia. So your chairman at the time was Keith Eccleston. God bless him. And yeah, they were good times. So that's it. Went from there. I stepped down. I think I was on the regional committee for 10 years. I stepped down. So I think once you've done these things, you need to move over and encourage other people to have a go. We I then did some interviewing at Balham for new members, and then when you're kind of in the system, you get asked to do other things. I did a couple of governance reviews in, I think, 2010 and 2015, which we're looking at again now. I chaired the Professional Practice Committee for a while, for 6 years. It was a while in CIBSE time, isn't it? 6 years, and which is our disciplinary committee, which I'm always pleased to tell people isn't a very busy committee. We have our issues. Most of them, if I'm honest, are probably a little vexatious with an unhappy client that thinks they'll get onto CIBSE and try and not make trouble, but try and get us to side with, and we just ask for the information, and invariably we come back to it's a commercial dispute. There's not one of conduct or so that's it. And then I stepped down from that to join the board in, I think, 2017. I was a year on the board and became honorary treasurer, which sounds a much bigger job than it is, because we've got a finance department that do the work. But again, gives you a good rounding of CIBSE. And then last year I became president-elect. So that's who I am. Happy to pause there for any questions.
No.
All sounds very familiar. I mean, that's exactly it. You know, I do like to think I'm kind of one of you guys, and well, actually, I am. You know, an SME. I've not been, you know, with our big multinationals that support industry, and a grassroots guy that's just helped out where he can, and sort of one thing leads to another, and even being president, it's because I'm passionate about what it is that we're doing or trying to do. So if I can contribute to that, I'm happy to try and do so. So that's me.